Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 208 of This is the G Podcast. Yes. You know it. I'm Tonya B. Welcome to our second taping of 2024, man. Happy King Holiday weekend to you. Each week, man, you know what we do. We do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from the one and only Tonya B. Vi and Talib are back with me this week, and we're going to talk about the continuing beefs, man. Cat Williams last week. Now Stephen A. Smith this week, and we'll get into some politics as well. Tonya B. has your tea. So let's go ahead and kick it off with Syracuse Mike and all that good news. Mike, what you got, man?
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he takes full responsibility for the secrecy surrounding an ongoing hospitalization. For reasons we still don't know. Austin, who is 70, was admitted on New Year's Day to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Not even the president was aware of Austin's hospitalization until 3 days later. The two had what the White House called a cordial conversation on Saturday evening. In sports, the Falcons have made it official. Head coach Arthur Smith is out. Team CEO Rich McKay.
We need to always hold ourselves accountable to our fans, and we need to try to put ourselves in a position to compete for championships, and that's why we made this decision at this time.
Team owner Arthur Blank says there is no timetable for naming Smith's replacement. Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis finds herself in the middle of allegations that she had an improper relationship with a prosecutor. According to a new court filing by one of Donald Trump's co-defendants, Willis hired someone she was personally involved with to lead the prosecution of Trump and 18 others in the Georgia election case. The allegations also state that she financially benefited from that alleged romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. The attorney for Michael Roman is seeking to have the charges against him dismissed. The DA's office said a response to the allegations will be made in a court filing. A federal appeals court in Washington is indicating it will reject Donald Trump's arguments that he cannot be criminally prosecuted for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. His attorney argued that the former president enjoyed absolute immunity from prosecution for what he did while in office. We're learning more about the hospitalization of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. He is being treated for complications following prostate surgery. The surgery resulted in a severe infection. The White House was unaware of Austin's health issues for days, and with the White House now calling for notification procedure changes when a cabinet member is ill, Air Force Major General Pat Ryder told reporters Tuesday,
"We want to make sure that if there is a transfer of authority, making sure that the appropriate senior leaders in the chain of command know."
Also, the Pentagon says the cancer was caught early and Austin's prognosis is excellent. Former President Donald Trump clashed with the judge during closing arguments in court Thursday. The judge cut him off and at one point told Trump's attorney to control his client. This is the civil fraud trial, which could stop him from doing business in New York. Outside of the courtroom, Trump accused the Attorney General, Letitia James, of trying to prevent him from being reelected. She says that's not her focus.
This case has never been about politics or personal vendetta or about name-calling. This case is about the facts and the law. And Mr. Donald Trump violated the law.
Y'all give it up for the Newsmaker crew in the building. Yes. Talib Shabazz is in the building. Talib, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm fantastic, brother. Happy New Year to y'all. You know, we've had 2023, we had a spectacular closeout for that year. So I'm looking forward to a positive and lucrative 2024. Let's say that.
Wow. Well, good. Because on that note, I got something to ask you in a few.
Okay. Sounds good.
Y'all give it up for the country commentator in the building, one and only Kirby Jr., Kirby Smart Jr. Vi's in the building.
I got to stop this Kirby Jr.
He just won't let it go, though, y'all. UGA just won't let it go.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into it. We'll wait.
I do.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. Last week, we discussed Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay, and now I think back then, last week it was around 18 million. Now it's around 46 to 48 million.
Good grief.
It's going to be well over 50 million. This week, we had another epic battle between two sports commentators. Jason Whitlock on Fox and Stephen A. Smith, First Take Fame on ESPN on his podcast. Whitlock got called out for really calling out Stephen A. Smith on his memoir, which the memoir is now in paperback. So, they're starting to promote it in paperback. And Whitlock is questioning some of the details, saying he didn't write it and some of the facts. Yeah, it was just messy. And Stephen A. man unleashed the Kraken. Would you say, Vi? On
he did. He went
Whitlock.
He
My
went
God.
He went September 11 on him.
Yes, he did. I'm talking about 40 minutes. He just went off almost an hour. And it's King Holiday Weekend, y'all. And King Holiday Weekend 2024.
You're right. You should have waited after that.
So it's King Week. And considering what we're facing, a couple of things, even when you look at the fact that some of these states are pulling, the summer lunches from kids and public schools, all this stuff going on, man, when we're considering all this stuff. Are these beefs just overdone and kind of distractions? I want to get your thoughts on that. And just real quick story, and then we'll go into your feedback. I love getting feedback, positive or negative, on the show. And one of our diehard listeners said we didn't go in enough on Cat. I'm sorry, didn't go in enough for Cat, in his commentary. And one of the things, the way I sum it up, and Talib, you might be able to sum it up the same way for hip hop. In a lot of cases, and Vi, you're more of a fan, so you're kind of in the middle. You're
right. I'm more of a fan, definitely.
Yeah, but we know when Tonya B and I were talking about Cat and some of these other comedians, we've known some of these guys. I mean, we've dealt with them. So when you deal with them, it's hard to go in 100%. Because some of this shit is like, damn, wait a minute. I know him, and I know, it's like, like with you, Talib, on the hip hop side. When there are beefs and both parties, you know what I'm saying? And one party says something and both parties and wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts to leave on the hip hop side? Because there's some legendary beefs on the hip hop side.
Yeah, definitely legendary beefs. I think that what I used to say is that hip hop is a Highlander sport. And if you ever watched the TV show The Highlander, at the end of the show, they would duke it out and, one would be killed or unalived, I guess. And then the Highlander who was left would take their power and keep it moving. So, the spirit of battle in hip hop has always been like, I'm the best. And I'm trying to take anybody out who says any different. And if we get together after we battle, then we can become cool or not cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm always down with beef as long as it stays in its place. You know what I mean? I'm not down with violence, but I'm okay with you not liking somebody. It's just a part of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't help that. But my thing is, like what we're seeing right now with these people in particular is that it's the chin check. You know what I mean? It's the 2024 chin check. And we're seeing that happening. There's chin checks happening all over the place with Diddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith, with Cat Williams and the people he addressed in his diatribe. So, I'm cool with it as long as it's like, okay, well, I got called on it. That was my bad. Or, I don't agree and we're going to keep it moving. As long as it doesn't elevate past this war of words that we're having, I'm cool with it, because it's really, at the end of the day, it's, for the most part, it's none of my business. The problems that these people are having with each other has nothing to do with me, or I could not get in the middle of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I have no place. So as far as I'm concerned, y'all work it out. And as long as it doesn't go to the streets.
And they're not real problems, to be honest with you. I mean, can we actually relate to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
People
Can we
taking
relate
your
to that
ideas. Yeah. People. I mean, come on. See. I will say this though. What I was noticing in this 50th anniversary of hip hop is that there are a lot of people who weren't necessarily on the scene doing things actively part of that community, but now they're trying to insert themselves as if they were part of what was happening at that time. And this revisionist history has been taking place for many years. I think what it is that I'm really starting to recognize it now. And I'm seeing it in a multitude of places, with the Florida laws about, not wanting to put slavery or in its proper context. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, we can see a lot of things happening. And it's I'm thinking that really it's the day of the reckoning. We have a lot of people that are being reckoned with. And if the Kraken is being released on these folks, then really it probably needs to.
Yeah,
because I didn't know who Jason Whitlock was, honestly.
Oh, he's a horrible person.
And I was like, when you were talking about it, I'm like, why is Stephen A. beefing with this dude in the first place?
He's a horrible person.
Oh my gosh. Then when I recognized where I do know him from, which is his infamous with the infamous, we'd have the mothers to blame for what's going on with the children, with the police brutality and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the? Yeah, man. Yeah, he needs a couple of Kraken released on his ass, yo.
Well, Stephen A. Smith went on for like 40 minutes, and he said he's the worst, most despicable, lying, no good, fat ass human being he's ever known. He called him the B word.
He's a male Candace Owens.
A piece of crap. Well, he didn't use crap, but I'm going to use it just to start off the year, y'all. I'm going to be good.
Right.
He also said Whitlock was one of the worst white supremacists. You know?
Because he's black.
And, and that goes to what you were saying, Talib, definitely. So my point is, and one more thing about the comedy, and I do want to get your thoughts about whether or not these beefs, I get it. I think you're saying as long as it remains entertaining, it's cool.
Right.
But one of the things you got to keep in mind, man, the comedy world has gone through COVID. A lot of these guys who depend 100% on stand-up took a major hit. They got hurt.
Yes.
Especially some of the names we know who you don't understand that week to week, month to month, year to year, that's how they make their money. Had to take off for a few years, but you had other comedians who basically had Netflix deals, who had movie deals, had TV deals. They didn't get hit, know. So
that's hard.
Yeah. So I think there may be some, some pent up anger, after watching these guys kind of cruise through COVID, come out fine, and a lot of them didn't come out as well, especially the whole Mark Curry thing and a few other comedians that have, come out, and spoken out on, against comedians who are much larger or have a bigger reach,
Right.
So, I'm just looking at it, and I want to I hear you, Talib. I want to get Vi's thoughts, man. I'm just looking at it from a standpoint. We got so much to deal with 2024. I agree with you, Talib. As long as we keep it entertaining, because I do think it's entertaining. People see, it hasn't gotten to a point where it's so freaking personal that it's like, damn, we don't need to hear this.
Right.
It ain't hurt. Right. Plus, it hasn't hurt anybody's pocket yet, neither.
Well, it's going to help. It definitely is going to help.
Oh, it'll help everybody.
Yeah,
because what they say, all attention is good attention.
Yeah.
They think it's bad advertisement, they say.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad publicity, right. No, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
If they're talking about you, click on the internet, you possibly making money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are seeing that. You're seeing a bunch of shows, Willie D from Ghetto Boys criticized this week because he had Cat on. He was the next one to have Cat on.
Okay.
And people are saying, why you riding, you know how they say.
Man, look,
that's why you ride Shay to get your, go ahead.
And look at Cat show. I was on Prime today, and I was looking through shows. Every time I pass through a show, I keep seeing an old Cat Williams show going. What in the?
Everybody's taking advantage.
Cat show, 2000 Cat Williams show going.
Yeah, the algorithm is definitely hopping right
So
now.
why am I going on Cat Williams show to find today's show?
That's what I'm saying. It elevated. It elevated everything. The whole Wanda from V103 beef is Wanda Frank Ski is coming up.
I heard about it. But I wish I can actually know what happened. What he said. It sounded like she was more in the wrong than he was. He said I asked her what we was gonna do, and she said we we're gonna do that. And soon he get on the radio, she go right at the juggler. He go, wait a minute now.
Right. But I was
it's on YouTube. It's on. I mean,
he said based on what she did, he said, he said, the gloves off now.
Right.
Yeah.
He said the gloves off.
That Kraken got unleashed.
But I'm saying everybody should know Cat Williams is the last person you want to get into stand up beef with.
No.
If you're gonna talk to him, do like David Chappelle did. Do it on the side. Behind closed doors.
Right.
Her career has still not recovered from that, unfortunately. I mean, to the point now, I think she's got some health issues, some things are going on, man, in her personal life.
If Dave Chappelle talked to you on the side, that's a good talent right there. There's some people you just don't go at. You just, hey.
Or at least have a conversation with. You know what I mean?
How your mama said, if you can't take the heat, get out that kitchen or don't go in that kitchen.
Yeah, I agree. So last thoughts, Talib. Where do you think? I mean, now again, I'm gonna go back to your first words, Talib. The positivity. It's King Weekend.
Right.
Wrap all this. No, I'm gonna go to Talib first. Go ahead, man. Wrap this in some positivity, Talib. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. Well, the way I look at it is that men deal with things in a manly way, and as long as there is not necessarily, I know there's not going to be a respect thing, because the comments are that I'm showing you that I don't really respect what you've done, but I respect you as a man. That's what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm hoping we can, the arenas that we can keep this in, is that, look, I don't really like what you did, so I can't say that I respect that, but I respect you. So let's have a conversation and let's get this out in the open and let's move forward. I think that's what Kat was saying, was that, look, if I take a fade on it, you can't expect me to still, you can't come back 10 years later with the same stuff.
Yeah.
That negates the purpose of me taking the fade.
Yeah.
So, but again, look, guys, everybody knows that we got bigger issues to deal with.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Everybody knows that. So let's keep this in the realm that it's in. It's conversations. We can laugh about it. We can talk about it. And everybody's always going to have an opinion on the opinions. Which is why, these comments and stuff like that are coming back like, oh, Willie D, you riding. Come on now. Who doesn't want the hot guy on their show?
Yeah, so true.
And if you're going to come on, if I can get Cat Williams on the G podcast right now, bro, you know what I mean? You better believe I'm pulling out all stops,
Yeah.
Come on. But let's be honest, fellas. Let's keep this in the realm that it's supposed to be in, and let's concentrate on what really matters. Taking care of our peoples and making sure our folks are straight.
Yeah, good point. Go to you, Vi.
Well, Cat, I think more or less, I look at Cat as more as entertainment than anything else, because he just told how he feel, and like my man said a few minutes ago, Cat said, I let it go.
Right.
But then they come back and get on your podcast and say just the opposite. So now I can't let it go.
Right.
Yeah. And basically, one thing I said about Cat, he did say, I'm only saying stuff because they said it first. I'm just removing it. Now, as far as Stephen A., Stephen A. went off the deep rail, right, as I can say. But my point with Stephen A. is I have no problem with it as long as he just let it go. If you don't do it again, if you continue doing it, then it's going too far. Because when you go to start calling people names and you're going too, I really think you're going too far then. If you said what you said what you're going to say and let it go. Because he's a high, powerful personality in the radio world right now. So I think he done what he said he's going to do and let it go and move on. Because like you said, long as it stay in the entertainment world, it don't lead the entertainment world. You're not trying to destroy this man's career, even though he built his career on the stuff we really don't appreciate. But that's his choice. That's a burden that he got to live with.
Yeah.
So let him have it. You said your piece and move on with it. So I'm good with everything right now. As long as it don't go no further than what it is right now, I'm good.
Exactly.
Well, just FYI, I mean, Stephen A.'s contract is heading. He makes about $12 million a year. And it's heading to a close or an end or renegotiations, I think, in 2024 at the end. So a lot of people feel, he might be on the verge of going somewhere else, doing something else. Because, ESPN, he probably should with ESPN, ABC. They not playing if he could take this further than they want it to go. And they may make a decision.
But I think Stephen A. has prepared for them to let him go. He's not really worried about them.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried. No,
fortunately, right.
Because at the way ESPN is operating now, they're not really honoring big contracts.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to say
right now.
Fortunately, he's built up enough juice where even if he went on his own and didn't necessarily make $12 million, he can still pretty much command a nice little salary doing some stuff independently. And that's what I think that's something that we all should be really looking towards, especially in this new year.
Look at Stephen A. the way he lived his life. Sorry about that. He's not living like he make $12 million a year. You don't see him going on if he is done, he's keeping the hush hush. You don't see him traveling around the world and riding around in Lamborghinis, all that kind of stuff. He's not out there spending all his money.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think he's okay.
All right. What's your big takeaway? You got a big story for the week, Talib?
No, man. I've been really trying to catch up on all the Israel-Gaza nonsense. And one thing I did find is I was checking out something on Al Jazeera. They said that it's not really a takeaway because I'm not going to be quoting the story. But one thing that I found very interesting was the fact that I did not know that there was oil has basically been found off of the coast of Gaza, off of the Gaza Strip. And this is not something new. This has been in place for a while. But what I found out was that in the article, it was saying that the 25-year lease that was granted to the Palestinians is over in 2024.
Wow.
So, that Israel has already issued some permits, I guess, for lack of a better word, to a couple of companies for developing the oil reserves off of the coast of the Gaza. So,
I got you.
This is we need to really be following the money on this whole thing.
Always the money.
It's always about the money.
It's
somewhere.
Even when they don't say it, it's about the money.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man, about that point, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Vi. The South Africa trial this week was really interesting. I think people need to pay attention to what's going on with South Africa and their declaration when it comes down to that conflict. So I'll grab a few articles, make sure we have them on the podcast page. But appreciate that, man. Appreciate you. All right, Vi, what you got? You got a big story for the week?
Big stories or old stories or all Trump. I mean, for anybody, lawyer, the judge can point blank ask you that you saying that he can hire the SEAL team to kill a Democratic opponent and not be charged. and then you have the ball that you didn't say. He didn't say, "Oh, you misinterpreted me." He said, "Yes, he can do that." I'm going, "Wow."
What?
Yeah, I think Trump's attorneys
He said, "Yes,"
are being attorneys, and they don't understand. You know, and hopefully y'all follow me on this, okay? You know, sometimes attorneys are just going to be attorneys. You know, it's a game. It's logic,
right?
And you're dealing with a whole different set of, how do you call it? What's on the line in this case is much bigger than your typical case where you're being an attorney, okay? Where you can play that logical game. That was just stupid.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, you know what I'm saying? There's a time to be a lawyer, and there's a time to understand what you say will have far-reaching impact.
Right.
And I think it might be fun playing, you know, mock trial with that. But it ain't when you in real life and you say something like that, especially if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're like, "Oh, I told y'all." I told y'all they be taking people out. You know, so it's like there's a time to be an attorney and there's a time to shut up.
But that's not the worst part, Baco.
Oh, I know.
The worst part is no Republican stood up and said and spoke out against it. They just been quiet.
But they've always been quiet. I mean, even now when you look at the candidate, I forgot, I don't even say his name, starts with the R, he's Indian American. And what he basically is trying to get, you know, his opponent back on the Colorado ballot. I mean, he wrote an amicus brief this week. So
I think that's just a show.
But see, that's the point. I mean, I think that's when it gets cult-like to me, when everything's for show. That's when it crosses the line of just being politics and being cult-like. That's a cult.
I guess it's cult, right?
Because you're dealing with cult members. You can, you know, you don't want to piss off the cult.
I mean, the things that he said and do. I'm looking at Republicans. Can't y'all see this guy is not with y'all? Y'all are trying to hide about the abortion. Y'all don't even want to talk about abortion. Trump said, "I am proud that I got it made illegal." I'm going, dude, really? Republicans trying to shy away from that now because they seeing women dying from it, women leaving country from it. But Trump said he's proud of it.
But see, that's why again, I mean, that's where it crosses from traditional politics to cult.
Well, ain't that tradition about this guy right here? Nothing.
No, there's nothing. And that's why I say to 2024, you know, we need to understand what we're up against, and we need to understand, you know, what's at stake. Again, I mean, when you know when you understand, or you're in the community and you're following all these situations in the community. Again, I mentioned, you know, the kids, the summer lunches being taken away. I mean, that may seem small to you, but for, you know, a family who's living under or at or below the poverty line, that's a big deal. When their kid can't get food that basically they depended on, you know, when school was out, and then all of a sudden these governors say, no, we're not going to go that route. It has, I mean, Georgia being one of the states, Mississippi, I mean, most of these states are states that are predictable.
Right.
You know, it has impact. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Appreciate you, Vi. Oh, I'm gonna keep it light, on the light side, as we leave, man. You know, I got to do my sports stuff, y'all. I just got to mention all these firings. Thank you, Arthur Blank. You were listening.
You need to continue listening.
Somebody said that Arthur Blank was listening to the podcast last week.
You need to continue listening then.
Because I am telling you. But I will say this one thing, you know, with Belichick, what's his name in Seattle? What was his name in Seattle? The coach, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, that's him.
Pete Carroll. No. Saban stepping down.
No.
I mean, this is a significant, what do you call it, changing of the guard.
Yeah.
One of the biggest changing of the guards and coaches I've ever seen in watching sports. I've not seen this many coaches, legendary coaches, step down at one time. Just say no to Belichick. That's all I got to say about it.
I say the same thing. Say no.
Say no.
Say no. Say no.
Please.
No.
Say, Mr. Blank, if you're listening, please say no.
Say no.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this as far as the coaches. This is a good opportunity for black coaches right now. One black coach, Gerard, has already accepted the New England position, so I'm gonna give it up to him. He's already in place. I think there's a strong possibility for Eric Bieniemy to go into place in Washington.
Okay. You think so?
Agree or disagree? I think so, because I think
so.
why. But let me say this: why else would he leave the Chiefs for a lateral move to come to a situation where he doesn't get upped? Because the new owners bought him in.
Because I can tell you why. Because he never got credit in Kansas City. They kept giving it to the head coach. He figured, I will tell you, if you go to Washington, he would at least get some credibility.
But I will tell you, the Chiefs have been miserable, offensively since he's been gone.
He's left.
So
that's he had to leave to get credibility.
The other point, it would not make sense to me at all. Why would you go lateral to a situation where you wouldn't be upped or an opportunity? I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll see. Because I would only leave if they said to me, because what's his name, the coach who was fired, was already on the hot seat when they bought him.
He didn't speak highly of Eric Bieniemy.
No, and that's why I think the owners will eventually bring him up. We'll see.
I hope they do, but I just don't see, because I think they want to start over. I think they want a clean slate, and they keep him there. That's not a clean slate.
But I think the new owners brought him in. I think he's part of the new regime, and we'll see.
I hope you're right.
And I hope he gets it, because I think we're going to see more black coaches. We're going to see a lot of black coaches.
He came to the Falcons, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting situation.
Don't see it though. I don't think Arthur ready to come to the dark side yet.
Yeah. He got a black GM who's not doing anything, but anyway.
Hey, you have a black GM and a black head coach. Yeah, I don't know if you're ready to go there yet.
We'll see. Hey, real quick, Vi, I want to get your thoughts. Don't give me commentary, and you can jump in if you want to leave. All right, don't give me commentary, Vi, because we got to go real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Wild card weekend as we tape, and when this airs, the Saturday will already be gone, but we'll have the Sunday. But I'm gonna go ahead and get your Saturday picks anyway. Browns and Texans. Who you got?
Texas.
Browns.
Okay. I got Browns on this one. Dolphins and Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I go with Chiefs on this. I just don't think Miami can win when they need to.
No.
Green Bay and Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I think the Cowgirls will take it, but I'm really pulling for it.
Green Bay got to travel to Dallas?
Yeah, it's a home game, and Dallas is pretty much undefeated at home.
Yeah. That's no rest at Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I said, Cowgirls.
Yeah, I say Dallas. Rams and Lions.
That's a tough one right there, but I'm gonna go with the upset. Rams.
I want to see the Lions. I'm ready to see the Lions take it all the way, man. They ain't been hitting on nothing since Barry Sanders.
That's why I said that.
I agree.
I believe the Lions should win, but I would not be surprised if the Rams upset them.
Yeah. This would have been easy a few weeks ago. Eagles and Bucks.
Eagles. Still Eagles.
Bucks are playing at home.
Bucks they got the Bucks offense suck.
Yeah, agreed. I got with Eagles.
I mean, let's go 9 point. They beat Carolina, 9 to what? Carolina.
It's horrible. Yeah. Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
They suck. I'm sorry.
Hey, we love your thoughts, y'all. Go to castropolis.net, choose the people poll, leave a voice message. We'll play it back if it's good. We appreciate you. Go to castropolis.net, hit the people poll, leave a voicemail. Appreciate y'all, guys. And again, y'all give it up for the one and only Talib Shabazz in the building. Talib. Vi, the country commentator. Appreciate you, man. / Kirby Jr.
Always. Hey, man.
All right, y'all. We'll come back, take a break, and we'll come back with Tonya B and the T. Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, go Dogs.
There you go.
Hey,
there you go.
I'm talking about the basketball team.
Did I say more?
The basketball team look good now.
No, you don't.
The basketball team look good.
Bye.
Appreciate y'all, man.
All right, buddy. Later.
Peace out.
Peace out.
More. This is the G Podcast. After the break.
children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
Yes. It's time to sip some tea. Children, it's your number one entertainment tea chick. I am Tonya B. You may know me from the Bird Wire. I'm also the one up in the club with the fake ID. I have a lot of headlines. I have more headlines, Tommy B, than last week. Let me just get right to it. First off, we got to say prayers up to football legend and Good Morning America host Michael Strahan and his family. Yesterday, he and his 19-year-old daughter Isabella did a very revealing interview on television talking about her fight back from a cancerous brain tumor. That's all I can say. Pete Davidson now says he's embarrassed. He admitted that he was with Ariana Grande at Aretha Franklin's funeral back in 2016 and he was high on ketamine. Are we surprised? Nope. Hey, have you heard that hot mic interview with Janet Jackson telling Jermaine Dupri to get the fugazi out of her face after she had caught him cheating with the stripper? Around the way filet. You know, Kevin Hart's movie Lift is now streaming on Netflix. His wife Tori's ex-wife actually, is going on tour with Cat Williams, and I hear she's funny. But now the wife's former assistant is flapping her gums, talking about how Kevin Hart cheats on everybody, past wife, current wife, that he has a gambling problem. But he's also been seen in some high-profile events, Tommy B, without his wedding ring. But it could just be because he had to get it resized, okay? Jonathan Majors, you need to stop and go sit in the corner, fold the laundry, clean your house with Nick Cannon, Neo, Cardi B, Offset, R. Kelly, and the rest of them. Do not compare yourself to Barack Obama, and do not compare Megan Good to Coretta Scott King. That's why you need to be quiet until you get sentenced on February the 6th, and you keep losing gigs. He lost the Disney gig, the Marvel gig, and now he lost a gig to portray Dennis Rodman in the movie, okay? Black History Month is coming, y'all. Nat Geo, who did a great job on Genius Aretha Franklin, is now continuing the Genius series with portrayals on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, February 1st. Angela Bassett finally got some of her flowers, this honorary Oscar, which she already earned from back in the 90s. Congratulations to her and to Keke Palmer for winning a Creative Emmy for hosting the revival of the game show Password. Are you ready for Purple Rain coming to Broadway, Tommy B? I'm so sick of Prince and his never had anything relatives fighting over money. They got more than they've ever had. Let the people that have experience managing estates do their job. You just be quiet. I said it. Be quiet and get your check, because now Prince's estate is worth over $150 million. Are you ready for this Michael Jackson biopic coming to the big screen April 18th, 2025? Produced by the Jackson Estate and Antoine Fuqua. The Jackson Estate has approved using his music, and Michael will be portrayed by his nephew Jafar Jackson, who is the son of Jermaine. Tiana Taylor is now claiming that part of the reason why she is estranged or divorcing Iman Shumpert is because of his drug use in front of their children. I don't need to say another word. He needs to go over there and sit in the corner too. Tiana, thank you for getting your children out of that toxic environment. Well, Nike Woods, that's right. Tiger Woods and Nike have broken up after over 20 years. They have parted ways. I guess it's a divorce that we knew was destined to happen. 5 on it to Regina King, who will always be Brenda from 227, even though she was in a bunch of other movies. It doesn't matter. She is our forever Brenda from 227, but she is set to portray the groundbreaking New York State Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm in a movie coming to Netflix on March 22nd. Can you believe We Are the World is turning 40, Tommy B? Yep, there's not been another song like it since. Let's just call a thing a thing. But Quincy Jones told them all when they walked in the door, that's where they need to leave their egos. Some did, some didn't. But if you want to see the real deal behind the scenes, go to Netflix on the 29th of January. Also coming to streaming, actress Sanaa Lathan, who we love from Love and Basketball and Brown Sugar, is going to produce in and star in a series about the fake 80s psychic Miss Cleo. You remember, call me now, call me now. That'll be interesting. What else is interesting? Why Halle Bailey think we didn't know she was pregnant and having a baby? She and her D-list rapper baby daddy DDG now revealed they have a baby boy named Halo, and she's claiming that she did not want to ruin her image as a Disney actress. Girl, you better wake up, because we knew about that probably before Beyonce did. I'm just saying. There is a whole lot of heat building up behind Usher's 2024 Super Bowl halftime performance. You know what? Don't know who's playing in the game, but I'm okay with that. I'm going somewhere for some good food, some good fun, and just for the hang, okay? For me, it's all about the halftime show in my house. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. It's your girl, Tonya B. Don't forget, check us out each and every day on social media. Check us out on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Please, please, please. And don't forget, the Bird Wire is still here. Castropolis.net on demand, however you want it. All right, Tommy B, back to you.
Big thanks to Syracuse Mike, Tonya B, Talib, author and political analyst Harold Michael Harvey. Man, check out his Young Thug trial updates. Go to haroldmichaelharvey.com. And don't forget, y'all, you can go to our social media bios and all our social media. The links are there, as well as go to castropolis.net. Share us with friends. Don't cost you nothing. The 200th long sleeve tee is still available. Proceeds support the podcast. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications, y'all. Don't forget. And with that, episode 208 is in the can. Have a great week. Peace and power to the people.